Dairy owners say quitting selling cigarettes is not an option because cigarettes account for up to half their sales, and people who come in to buy cigarettes buy other things, a can of fizzy, a pie, whatever. Well, they're open to the idea of installing secure vending machines to prevent smash and grab thefts, as suggested by the ACT Party leader David Seymour. More on this coming up. One big retailer who uses the machine says they're not the panacea they're made out to be. Anusha Bradley on what's a pretty complex issue.
The spate of violent robberies for cigarettes continued over the weekend, with Batel's Superette in Ranui, West Auckland, targeted on Saturday afternoon and a service station in Pahiatua robbed last night. Last week, a South Auckland shopkeeper was beaten up and had a machete held to his throat after 4 offenders stole cash and cigarettes from the Kingsford supermarket in Mangere. A 15, 17, 18 and 20-year-old have since been arrested. The owner, Kamaljit Singh, now has a security guard, has installed panic buttons and is considering using smoke bombs to deter future thieves. But despite the ordeal, he's defiant he'll never stop selling tobacco.
It's a legal product. Every person has the right to sell, and people that do smoke, they have the right to smoke. I mean, why are they telling the dairy owners to stop selling and not do anything about the criminals instead of punishing the dairy owners who are trying to make a living?
Kamaljit Singh says tobacco sales can account for between 30 to 50% of a dairy's turnover. A pack of 20 cigarettes costs between $21 and $28 a pop. About 75% of that goes to the government in taxes, about 8% to the retailer and the rest to the manufacturer. Jazz Sandhu owns a 4-square in Huntly. Despite being robbed twice for cigarettes last year,
within 2 minutes, they took about $5,000 to $6,000 worth of cigarettes, and that's all they targeted.
He won't stop selling them.
That's the demand here, because of our sales in 4 squares consist of about 20 to 22% sales of cigarettes only. By doing not smoke in our store, potentially we're going to lose another 25% of the groceries we sell in our store, you see, because that's a draw card.
The ACT Party leader David Seymour wants the government to use the tobacco tax to pay for the installation of single cigarette pack dispensers in dairies. Both Kamaljit Singh and Jazz Sandhu agree it's a good idea. Z Energy is spending $1 million installing secure metal cigarette dispensers throughout its 50 stores in Auckland, but its head of retail, Mark Forsyth, says it's not a cure-all, but just one of many measures it's taken.
Yeah, one thing on its own is very rarely successful. There has to be a number of measures that are all taken, effectively what we call a layered approach to defence, starting with bollards on the outside of the stores to stop people driving into the front of the stores, transparent security film across the glass, some DNA spray that we have on some sites, fog cannons which fill the store with a smoky type solution which cuts down visibility, safe rooms for the staff to access, and now onto the tobacco dispensing units.
Joseph Torima's service station in the Hokianga was selling $10,000 worth of tobacco products a week for a profit of about $800. 8 months ago, he decided to stop.
Just safety. A couple of break-ins down the road, and it's all about smoke. So, and they had to try to have a crack at us as well. So that was sort of the last straw.
Gas Omapere now sells school lunch packs and more hardware products to try and make up for the lost revenue.
We're not quite there. You would work a lot harder, but yeah, it's worth it. It's totally worth it, especially when you read or see on the news, all these break-ins and whatnot, or shop owners getting beaten up. It's not going to happen here, because people aren't going to beat us up for lollies or ice creams and all that. Each time I see it, I say to my wife, just get rid of smokes. It's as simple as that.
The Crime Prevention Network spokesperson PJ Singh says intense competition means Auckland dairy owners just don't have the luxury of quitting tobacco. He says the only way to reduce the robberies is more police and harsher penalties for offenders. For Checkpoint, Anusha Bradley.